During the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the stadium that will host the most matches has a retractable roof that weighs as much as 20 Boeing 737 airplanes. Back in 2006, while it was under construction, the engineering team faced a massive challenge, building a 1,500-ton roof that could open and close whenever needed, and doing it on a structure with no walls and no pillars. At the time, it was the world's largest stadium built with the longest unsupported arches ever constructed. But the problem was that the stadium's arches were curved at a 30-degree angle, and on such an incline, moving a roof that heavy seemed impossible. Forget opening it. It was like dragging the weight of 20 Boeing airplanes uphill. At this point, dozens of engineers were brought in. Every possible idea was tested, but all the experiments failed. Eventually, the idea that finally worked had actually been invented 150 years earlier by a man who had absolutely nothing to do with engineering. Welcome back once again to Nobel's creation. Ladies and gentlemen, the stadium considered one of the biggest favorites for FIFA 2026 is the AT&T Stadium, located in Arlington, Texas. Spread across 3 million square feet, this magnificent stadium can accommodate 80,000 people at one time. The interior volume of the stadium is 3 million cubic meters. In other words, the entire Great Pyramid of Giza could fit inside it. And even then, thousands of people would still have room to sit. Talking about height, if the Statue of Liberty were placed inside, it still wouldn't touch the roof. When we look at the stadium and then examine its features, it's hard to believe how it was even built. 2 400-meter-long arches without any pillars, a 1,500-ton retractable roof, central air conditioning, and 2 giant sliding glass doors as tall as a 12-story building.
All these challenges emerged in 2006 when America's National Football League, the NFL, needed a new stadium in Texas. The American football team, the Dallas Cowboys, wanted a stadium that wouldn't just be used for 8 to 10 football games a year, but one that could generate revenue throughout the entire year. Now, Texas is known for winter storms during the colder months and scorching heat during the summers. So making the stadium usable year-round meant it had to be indoors and fully climate-controlled.
Normally, whenever a roof is built over a structure, pillars are installed to support it. But if pillars were placed inside the stadium, they would block the audience's view of the game. This became the first major challenge for architect Brian Truby, who faced some of the toughest challenges of his career during this project. He had to create a design for the stadium with absolutely no pillars at all. But the challenge wasn't only about designing a roof without pillars. That roof also had to support a 1,500-ton retractable structure and carry the world's heaviest LED screen at the time. The screen alone was calculated to weigh 600,000 kilograms. That meant the total load would reach 2,100,000 tons. The solution to this problem was hidden in a historic structure that most people have forgotten today. In 1875, engineers were constructing a railway line in Portugal, but their work stopped when they reached the Douro River. The river was 170 meters wide and up to 20 meters deep, and at that time, the water current was extremely strong, which meant it was impossible to place support pillars in the river.
To solve the problem, French engineer Gustave Eiffel was called in. Eiffel designed a parabolic arch supported from the riverbanks, which eliminated the need for pillars. At that time, such a massive arch looked impossible to build, but Eiffel proved everyone wrong. It wasn't just the design of the arch carrying the bridge's weight. If you look closely, you'll notice many small triangles throughout the structure, and those triangles are the biggest secret behind its strength. That's because the triangle is the only geometric shape that, no matter how much pressure is applied to it, may break,
but will never lose its shape. In engineering language, this triangular framework is called a truss system. And Gustav Eiffel's same discovery was used in Texas at AT&T Stadium, but on an enormous scale. Two giant arches, stretching 1,400 feet long, were built with a thickness of 14 feet and a depth of 35 feet. Their entire weight was transferred onto four massive concrete abutments positioned 400 meters apart. Each abutment used enough concrete to build 200 homes, each measuring 200 square yards. And because the arches were made of steel, which expands in the extreme Texas heat and could even crack the concrete, engineers installed expansion joints between the steel and the abutments. These joints allow the stadium structure to breathe. After 8 months, the roof structure was finally completed. A pillar-free roof with a completely open view was now ready. In the center of the roof, engineers intentionally left an iconic rectangular opening as a tribute to the old Dallas Cowboys stadium. But at AT&T Stadium, this opening had to be covered with a retractable roof, capable of handling every type of weather. Nobody realized just how difficult this task would become. The retractable roof panels weighed more than 10 times the weight of the world's heaviest animal, the blue whale. Moving them along the sloped arches became an incredibly difficult engineering task. Naturally, when the roof opens, gravity tries to pull it downward, and lifting it upward against gravity would be like pulling 10 blue whales uphill. To solve this issue, the roof panels were divided into 2 equal sections so that the weight would stay perfectly balanced on both sides of the truss whenever the roof opened. Now, if engineers had used heavy-duty winches to move the roof, the system would have required at least another 3,000 tons of winch machinery just to lift the 1,500-ton roof. And if even one winch moved slightly faster than another, the balance of the truss system would be destroyed, leading to a disaster. Secondly, if even one steel cable snapped accidentally, it could trigger catastrophic destruction. To solve this problem, engineers turned toward a 150-year-old invention created by someone who wasn't even an engineer. In the 19th century, a businessman named Sylvester Marsh, who worked in the meatpacking business, loved hiking. He frequently climbed Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Climbing this mountain wasn't easy for ordinary people, which is why most tourists would turn back before reaching the top. In 1869, Marsh designed a special railway track called a cog railway, also known as a rack railway. In this system, a toothed rack is placed between the rails so gears can lock into it. The rail section is called the rack, while the gear attached to the train is called the pinion. This allowed the train to climb steep mountains without slipping backward. To prevent the train from rolling back downhill, a locking mechanism was installed on the pinion, allowing it to rotate in only one direction. If you've ever experienced a cog railway or a roller coaster, the continuous clicking or hammering sound you hear while climbing upward comes from this locking system. This genius invention became known as the rack-and-pinion system. For the retractable roof of AT&T Stadium, engineers decided to use this same rack-and-pinion mechanism. The line you see running along the roof is the rack, the track that allows the roof panels to move smoothly with a strong grip. For this system, engineers installed 130 motors, each producing 7.5 horsepower. These motors power the pinion gears while closing the roof and act as brakes while opening it. And because the size of the gears is fixed, both roof panels always move at exactly the same speed, ensuring equal weight distribution across both sides of the truss system. The retractable roof of AT&T Stadium takes approximately 12 minutes to fully open. Keeping this gigantic stadium cool during Texas summers was another massive challenge. the enclosed stadium has an internal volume of 3 million cubic meters, astonishingly equal to around 75,000 standard rooms. Cooling such a huge volume is like air conditioning 3 Burj Khalifa-sized skyscrapers from top to bottom.
You may have heard of 1-ton, 2-ton, or maybe even 4-ton air conditioners. Amazingly, the stadium uses an 11,000-ton chiller system. The air ducts alone are up to 6 feet thick. According to the laws of physics, cold air is heavier than warm air. These ducts blow cool air downward from above, allowing it to flow over the audience and settle onto the field. Warm air, being lighter, rises upward into the empty space above the field, where it is recycled back into the cooling system. To make the viewing experience extraordinary for fans, AT&T Stadium installed what was then the world's largest LED screen. This screen weighs 600,000 kilograms and contains more than 10 million LEDs. As tall as a 10-story building, the screen hangs 50 meters above the field. Its total display surface is as large as a 3,000 square yard plot, making it visible from every corner of the stadium. No matter where you're sitting, the screen can easily be seen from every angle. The stadium's doors are giant glass structures as tall as a 12-story building. These doors are not made from one single piece of glass, but from multiple smaller panels joined together. Each panel weighs approximately 86,000 kilograms. These insulated glass doors also open and close using the same rack-and-pinion mechanism. It takes nearly 18 minutes for these gigantic doors to fully open or close. Now, let's move to the most important part, the field where the games are actually played. At AT&T Stadium, turf was installed over concrete so the venue could host not just football games, but many other sports and events by replacing the surface whenever necessary. But now, for FIFA, the stadium management faces an entirely new challenge. According to FIFA rules, soccer matches can only be played on real natural grass, not artificial turf. To fulfill FIFA's requirements, the Dallas Cowboys organization has set aside a $300 million budget. But the question is, how can real grass be grown on top of a concrete floor? The stadium roof doesn't fully open, so sunlight cannot evenly reach the entire field. To solve this issue, the stadium management raised the field level by 6 inches. A special drainage system was installed underneath so excess water could flow out properly, while artificial UV lights were added to maintain sunlight conditions. The management's plan is not to grow the grass inside the stadium at all. Instead, the natural grass will be grown on a farm in Colorado and then transported in refrigerated trucks before being installed close to match day. At the same time, the stadium's original seating capacity of 80,000 will also be increased to 94,000 for FIFA events. AT&T Stadium will host a total of 9 matches during FIFA 2026. The very first match there will be played on June 14th, and the World Cup semifinal will also take place there on July 14th. Afterward, the natural grass will be removed and the artificial turf will be reinstalled once again. We hope you'll give this video plenty of likes and shares as well. Thank you so much for all your love and supportive comments. See you again in the next amazing video.